I remember when I was about 4, Mom was painting a room, and then she was talking about cooking chicken, and she was saying it real funny, and she was entertaining, and I realized as an adult, Mom was painting, she was entertaining her daughter and trying to figure out, what am I going to cook for dinner tonight? And so that's a prime example of somebody, she could have been overwhelmed, but and there were times she was, but I love the fact that you just roll with it. I mean, you're going to have to do it anyway, you might as well be happy about it. I do have an older sister, so I'm the little one. My sister's 5 years older than me. We were pretty close growing up. That's in 1987 on the left, that's when she got married. We grew up in Virginia, and she went to Baylor, and then she married someone from Houston, and I figured out she's never leaving Houston, so I better come here. So I moved in 1990, we still do stuff together. As much as I talk about her, I talk about her boys more. So that's Jason, he's 23 now, and that's Jared. He is 15 now. So I love that I've been able to be around and be that aunt that gets to keep them, and we have adventures, and that's just being able to do Christmas, Thanksgiving. They both play piano, they both play percussion, been able to watch different ball games and stuff. Obviously they have grown up and they're big. That was this Christmas, so they're bigger than me now. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my story, but you may think, what did you just do? But what I'm talking about is we all have a story. We all go through things, and as we go through things, we figure out how to deal with it, and sometimes we're able to help others. So the first big deal, 2001, my mom died. I had no idea. I mean, she lived in Virginia. I was here. I talked to her once a week, but it was huge. She was my biggest fan, and it was just a big deal. My dad died 13 months later. What I love, though, is my mom died in December 2001. My nephew was born, and the first Christmas that we didn't have my mom, we had the little nephew. So it was just a reminder, not that God's going to replace people, but, it's the circle of life. People die, people live, and they're born, and you have to just enjoy whoever you have in your life at the time. And I will say out of that, too, part of the being able to help others, we ended up starting Grief Share. There were 2 other friends of mine. We started Grief Share at our church. So that's something where good came out of it. I got married in 2008. I became a wife, a stepmom, and a grandmother all in one day. Wow. So there's that 18-year-old that's not in the picture. She was in California. We had the little one. And I love, these girls are so cute. We would go by the church we got married, and they go, "That's where we got married." I'm like, "Yeah." So I love the kids. I really embrace that, and I think that's the takeaway now, that I really think as adults we need to set an example on how to deal with stuff and pattern things for kids. So some days it was like that, and some days it was like that. It was crazy. Now the stuff I haven't talked about, my ex had anger issues that I discovered on our honeymoon, and then he was verbally abusive. It went physical. I don't talk about that a lot because I don't want to talk about negative things, but I do think perhaps at some point in life this may be something that I help others with because I stayed with him way too long. Some people ask me if I still see the kids. It took 1.5 years, but he brought the kids over. Anthony, he was with us all the time, so that was the hardest for him. The twins, they have their mom, so I'm just another adult, but I do get to see them. Okay, health. So I met this lady. She's from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm from Texas, and we met in Washington, D.C., and she changed my life. I was 49 at the time. I was in the airport, and they were talking about, she had been doing speaking engagements in the States, and she was talking about health and nutrition. And I'm not one, if you tell me do this, don't do that, I will do it, but I don't know why. So I like to know why. So her book, she gave me that book. She didn't have a business card, but she said, "Let me give you this." I read it, and it talked about why or how foods process and what we use them for, and it explained, now when I eat stuff, I understand why, and so I can, sometimes I still do the things I know I shouldn't, and, life's too short, but at least I know what's happening. So really if I can get to the health stuff, most of it's going to be her stuff. A year later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. They got it out with surgery, and I did radiation. But I learned then that certain foods fight cancer, and other foods have other healing properties. So I really got excited about nutrition. Now, I finished with radiation. It was January. I had my 51st birthday, And I wasn't really looking forward to anything. Part of it, when you have cancer, your life is on hold. You don't make plans. You don't know if you can go out of town and all that. So all of a sudden, that was over. I wasn't looking forward to having kids or getting a big house or getting a promotion. I was already at a certain point, but I started praying that God would give me hopes and dreams. And so stuff happened at work. It kind of got messed up at work, which was a good thing. I figured that was God kind of answering that. And around fall of 2017, I found Zervita. They make a nutritional product, 56 vitamins and nutrients, and it's just really changed my life, and now that's what I do for a living. I have a product that I sell that that is important to me. So really, you look at food and how, obviously we're doing something wrong, because statistics, we have more risk of cancer, heart disease, and all this stuff. So this just became something big to me, and I started looking at stuff. There's actually 56 nutrients, but that's 21, pictures of 21 nutrients in there. But I like that visual because it gives you an idea, like, I can't eat that much stuff, or, even swallowing pills. If you swallow 56 pills, still I'm not going to swallow 56 pills a day. I'm just not going to. And the other thing is, the pills are not going to get in your system the way this does. This is stabilized rice bran, and I'm probably getting, how much time do I have? 4 minutes? Okay. So stabilized rice bran is it has gamma oryzanol, and I won't talk about this a whole lot.
3 minutes to go.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's really good. Just a disclaimer, if I tell you stuff, people don't agree, so I'm going to say something. If y'all say, hey, that's not what I heard from this other diet, then you're right. Health and nutrition, it's a hobby of mine. I'm not responsible for making this product, so it's not dependent on me knowing all this stuff. This is just stuff I've learned as I've had to. And there may be people in the room that know more than I do. Just putting it out there. Okay, so I have a little sheet that, let me see, oh my gosh. There's so much stuff. If I were going to tell you, I'm going to tell you as quickly as I can. Fruits are the best food to eat. They are easily digested, your body needs it for energy, and then there's extra nutrients in those that help with inflammation or heart disease. There's just a lot of good things in there and not bad things. Vegetables also, but with vegetables, you have to look at how you fix them. And on here, I won't go into it, but it shows nutrients lost if you steam, cook, If we microwave our food, we're going to lose 97% of the nutrients. So you're just losing all that extra stuff.
Is that even if you put them in the little bags that are made for the microwave?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Starch and protein. I'm going to let you read that. But starch and protein, I will tell you that when you eat starch, there's an enzyme in your saliva that starts breaking it down. And with meat and protein, the enzyme is in your stomach, and that starts breaking it down. And if you eat those together, I love meat and potatoes, but if you eat them together, it slows down the digestion process. So that's something that you need to watch and not do all the time. Dairy, no. And I still do cheese and things I like, but we're the only animal that continues to have milk and dairy after we're weaned. And we have the enzymes to break down our milk, but not cow's milk. So our body just can't break it down. Okay, fats, healthy fats. Cholesterol. Okay, you can get cholesterol from, if you eat a food that had a liver, because the liver produces cholesterol, you can get secondhand cholesterol that way. You can also, the body needs cholesterol. The healthy fats grab it from the blood, take it to the liver, and the liver puts it where it needs to go. And the liver, okay, I'm going to run out of time. But if you don't have enough fats, it's not moving the, I totally lost it. Okay, it's not moving the nutrients where it needs to go. It's staying in your bloodstream. So, but a lot of times your cells will start telling your liver, hey, we're not getting it, produce more. So you're producing more cholesterol and not getting it where you need it. So you do need healthy fats. Avoid the overprocessed foods because your body doesn't know how to break it down. Okay, even sugars. I use stevia because sugar, it's hard to break it down. Even these artificial sweeteners, there's not exclusive. It hadn't been long enough for them to figure out, but in rats it causes cancer or mental things. So just trying to wrap it up. That's most of it. There's some more stuff on here you can read, but the last thing, what you want to do is try to have 75% of your diet that's vegetables, fruit. Do 25% that's the acidic ones, which is the meat, dairy, if you're going to do it, and grains. And I think that's probably it. Okay.
Couple of questions.